you are.
We are recording in OBS, and we are now recording in Audacity.
The audacity.
The caucasity. No.
No.
Definitely the Audacity.
I was about to say, listen, we're not that kind of white.
Yeah, no, we try to avoid being the caucasity kind of white people. So, but hello everybody. Pardon our banter, but there's a lot of banter here, and we're not going to apologize for it.
You're apologizing.
I know.
Shut up.
I know. I'm terrible. So we just had dinner. We had chicken, baked potatoes, and elote pasta, which sorry, we have minions. We have youngins, and we're trying to make sure that they don't get included in the podcast because this podcast is not for kids.
But with that being said, tonight's focus and I guess how would you want to explain it? Dialogue?
Yes.
I guess.
The dialogue that we're going to discuss, the topic that we're going to discuss, we're actually going to be talking about a fellow creative. Her name is Kristine Wilson.
Amazing.
Yes.
Love her.
She is a epic sweetheart. And we finally made our trip down to Simply Wilson Acres. And Jordan is making us tea.
Yes.
Sugar or anything?
I do.
Some
Honey. Honey, please.
So we just bring it out here?
No.
Get a little pot.
No. You make it for us.
Please.
Please.
Just honey?
Just honey. Thank you.
But we finally took I had booked out about a month ago to travel down to Simply Wilson Acres. And this is a new venture that Kristine Wilson is creating, formulating, making a thing. And Simply Wilson Acres is a extension of her photography business. And I'm going to try and keep this, I'm going to pour my heart out about Kristine because she is such an amazing, such a sweetheart. She is, and she's also insanely talented as a photographer too. So I actually met Kristine through another friend of mine named Kristen. And I believe Kristine was mentoring Kristen because Kristen is also a photographer, but she doesn't do commercial shoots typically. But Kristen is also a really good sweetheart. But Kristine, I was introduced to her, and from the get-go, she's super helpful, she's very communicative, and I told her, I'm a photographer, I'm trying to, beef my skills up, I'm trying to make myself more marketable, hopefully launch this into a business. And Christina's like, you ever need any advice? I got you, boo-boo. So a little backstory, Kristine started her photography business back in 2020 during the Panini. And yes, I said Panini on purpose.
The panini, that was the worst panini. That was like a microwave panini.
Yeah, that was like...
Bring back the murder hornets.
Yeah, I would take the murder hornets.
Give me the murder hornets.
But Kristine, she started her photography business back in 2020. And here it is 5 years later. She's working on creating her own photography venue. And we finally got to check it out today. And her work is very, it's very warm. She has this air of like coziness and quaint and just that definitely cozy would be one.
Cozy and charming.
Yes, cozy and charming is how I definitely would describe her photography work. And she's hella skilled. Like, my photography skills, I just edit in Lightroom. I don't typically edit things in Photoshop. And she gets more in depth with her editing than I do. And she's goals.
Right. She's inspiration.
She is definitely an inspiration. And one of the best things that I absolutely love about her is she does not gatekeep. And I am one of those people who is of the opinion that good peeps don't gatekeep.
Unless you're a creep.
Yeah, if you're a creep, GTFO. Like, go away. We don't want you. But
go be miserable somewhere else.
yes, exactly. And if you genuinely want to grow as a photographer, if you want to improve your skills, if you want to hone your skills, Kristine offers mentorships. Send her a message with a couple of photos and ask for a critique. She is definitely, when she's not busy, she is, because she is also a mom, she runs 2 businesses now, and this is everything she eats, sleeps, shits, and breathes, you know, and that is a level of professionalism that I aspire to, honestly. But Kristine, she's always been really good at giving critiques and everything, and
we're not sponsored by Kristine, by the way.
I'm not a fangirl, I promise, but like
she is too, and it's okay to be because she's talented and she deserves the adoration.
Yes, Kristine is just all around good people, and I know my skills have definitely improved. Like, I know I said in a previous episode that my skills have definitely improved thanks to Nikki modeling for me. On the flip side, when it comes to like editing and experimentation with editing and things like that, Kristine has helped me improve my skill set as well. And I freaking adore her, you know, and she's just she's so sweet. Sorry. Well, with Simply Wilson Acres, it's located in Genesee County, Davison, Michigan. There is, she's got a lot, like, she's basically transforming her own property into this photography venue. There is a greenhouse that has like full, currently, because she's doing holiday minis right now, she's got like Christmas tree set up, there's presents, there's a fireplace, there's, you know, just Christmas decorations.
A little day bed, so
yes.
If you're getting ready to tuck in and get ready for Santa.
Yes.
Got a good opportunity to get a good shot there.
And it's just, the setup is so cute, it's so quaint, it's cozy, it's warm. It's just, she's such a welcoming person, Kristine is, and she's creating that same air and demeanor with Simply Wilson Acres. And I honestly could not be any more grateful, you know, to know such an incredible person. And as far,
thanks for the intro.
Huh?
Thanks for the introduction to her, you know, like having us meet. That was really nice.
Yes.
Because I know you've been telling me about her and how awesome she is for like
months,
a while,
a long time.
Yeah, quite some time. So
yeah, so today was the day that Nikki finally got to meet Kristine, and you know, Kristine came out because I blame anxiety. Me being the anxious person that I am, we arrived an hour early for our booking.
Because I'm usually running late if it's like outside of the time I have to clock in for my obligated job.
Yep. So it's like we need to be on the road by noon, and we didn't have to be on the road until like 12:30.
But you know, we did that too with another wedding that you had shot with, you know, one of our friends. When you were surprised I actually showed up early.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I told you, you thought I was gonna at least be on time, but I was early.
Yeah, and I was like, I was low-key kind of impressed. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, you're actually early for something.
Well, yeah, because if it's on my personal time, yes, I'm gonna probably take my time to get there, but if it's something that, like, you know, I have a responsibility or, like, people are depending on something, especially when it considers, like, their business, I'm not going to be the person that's like, hey, yeah, by the way, I'll be there in 5 minutes and show up in, like, 3 hours. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no.
That's so rude.
And even when you and I shoot, like, we have, like, a ballpark time frame that we want to shoot, but, like...
Well, you know that I haven't left the house until I've sent you a picture of me in the car.
Exactly.
You know not to...
Nikki will be like, I'm on my way, and then 15 minutes later she'll be like, okay, I'm actually on my way. Here's a selfie of me in the car. And it's like,
right,
haha, yes.
I'm not going to go back inside. Thank you very much.
Well, you get the kitty cup.
Yes. It's the same one that I drank coffee out of last week.
Oh, this is very
Thank you very much.
toasty.
There might be too much honey, there might be not enough. I had to like scoop it out of there with like a spoon because it wouldn't come out the hole. Even will heat it up. So.
Oh, that's delicious.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
No problem.
Jordan just brought us tea.
Which was gifted to me by Kayla Post, by the way.
Which, speaking of Kayla,
We love her.
yes, Kayla is also good people,
Oh,
and
Sorry.
you're good. She also runs her own podcast called Trampage.
She is also a photographer
Yes.
of amazing proportions.
So basically, what we're planning on doing with this podcast, like, I know we had our first pilot episode and whatnot, but like, we've got goals. We've got some shenanigans that we plan on getting up to with this podcast. All fun, good shenanigans, nothing unsavory by any means, but
Maybe, I guess, but
mostly with foul
if you're
language.
salty, if you're salty, choke.
Right.
Oh, that's a good one. Write that one down.
If you're turn that into a t-shirt. I'm gonna be working on so many different t-shirt designs, it's not even funny. But no, Kayla, she is a good friend of ours, and she also runs her own podcast called Trampage, and that will be in the show notes as well. So if you are looking for something that is like feminine rage and all that good shit, like, look up Trampage. Trampage is another good podcast. And I remember actually, like, a couple weeks ago, because I had been following Trampage when it first started, but she only put one episode out, and I sent a screenshot of my subscription to it, and I'm like, Kayla, please reignite this podcast, because I think it would be a really good outlet for you. And like a week later, she's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm like,
I'm gonna
fuck
do it.
yes. So we actually plan on having Kayla on the show, and likewise, Kristine, we actually plan on having her on the show, not this episode, but down the road.
Yeah, because holiday seasons, it's very busy, as everybody may know.
Yes, so
We're probably not gonna, have a whole lot of free time to meet with other people, but we are working on a different way of doing it instead of being just in person, right?
yes, so we're planning on doing like Google Meet sessions and recording the video, and like I have to figure out a way to try and get it to appear in OBS, because that's the program that we record video podcasts in is OBS, and then we record the audio in Audacity. So making things a little complicated slightly, but it works for us. At least it has thus far. But Kristine will be making an appearance, at least that's the game plan, on a later episode. And as far as plans with this podcast, I want to talk art, photography, paranormal, the metaphysical, mostly...
Everything.
Yeah, all the things. But mostly art, photography, and the paranormal,
Right.
But...
Fashion, yeah.
Yes, and likewise, I want to have fellow creatives on the show to discuss, what's your work method? What inspires you? The usual cookie cutter questions, but then the shenanigans that happen between questions and the banter and things like that. So, what's up, honey?
Nothing to show
Okay,
Big.
go do your thing. Mwah.
Sure.
So, I kind of lost my train of thought, but yeah, our plan is we want to actually have some fellow creatives on the show and just discuss anything and everything that suits our fancy at the moment. So, but
Because we wanna.
yeah, it's our podcast. We're gonna do whatever the fuck we want. So,
And bonus points when your man brings us nice tea.
yes,
It is very
much
good
so.
tea, so thank you, Jordan.
So, but getting back to Kristine Wilson and Simply Wilson Acres, I know I started saying that there's like a greenhouse. There's this large greenhouse shed that has a Christmas setup with a couch, some presents, some Christmas trees, some decorations, and things like that. Outside, you have this huge open field. Like, they have acreage. And you can shoot in the field, you can shoot in the shed. There's also garland archways and a carriage. Unfortunately, you can't climb on the carriage because it's over 100 years old, and we're worried about how fragile it is.
Okay.
But just her setup, and she's still working on it. She's doing a soft launch right now, and just,
And it's been pretty popular, so
yeah, like, it
go you,
was,
Kristine.
yeah, good, go on you. Like,
Keep killing it.
yeah, she is killing it. She is doing phenomenal, and she's also never short of a compliment. If you have taken a photo and edited it in such a way, the technique, the composition, everything is peachy keen and hunky-dory, her compliments are just like, oh, senpai noticed me.
Well,
Thank you.
even if it's not a compliment, her constructive criticism, or even just pointers, I wouldn't even call it criticism, but her pointers and advice that she has offered have been really helpful.
Yes. And she's never been mean. Like, she's very apologetic if, like, there's a delay in her responding to your messages. It's like, woman, you are busy. You run 2 businesses and you are a mother. Like,
Stop apologizing. Oh, where's that sound like?
shut up.
Never. You can't make me.
What was that t-shirt phrase? Salty, go choke?
Yeah, if you're salty, go choke.
If you're salty, go choke. Do.
Wow.
I swear every single episode is going to feature me writing things down in a notebook.
Yeah.
So, oh well, what can you do?
And me telling you to stop apologizing. You're like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Stop yelling at me.
Yeah. So,
I'm trying. I'm sorry.
like I said in the first episode, I am a recovering people pleaser. It's some days I'm great at it, other days it's not going so well. So, but as far as like my own like I met Kristine back in 2022, maybe 23. Don't quote me on that. But I remember like meeting her, and she actually took photos of Jordan and I. Like, I ended up winning one of her giveaways that she did where...
I remember that.
Yeah. And that was such a fun shoot. I actually, I was a little thinner back then because I was in the throes of my lupus diagnosis.
I was going to say, that was when you were fighting to try to get seen to get diagnosed and get the proper testings and stuff. And they're like, you're fine, just, here's an antidepressant.
Yeah.
Get some rest, eat something.
Yeah, and I think when Jordan and I were photographed by Kristine, I had just started the medication for it.
Mm-hmm.
So the weight was starting to come back, but ever so slowly,
Right.
and it was kind of driving me insane. But I met Kristine through Kristen, and I entered one of Kristine's giveaways where you got like a free photo mini session. And I asked her if my then boyfriend, Jordan, could also be a part of the shoot. She's like, yeah, couples are definitely included in this, I think the largest group you could bring was like 2 or 3 people. So, like, she would be photographing.
That's very fair.
Yeah. And she's like, I've run into it in the past where, like, somebody wins a free mini session and then they bring their entire family, and I'm like, oh hell no, I'm not gonna do that to you.
Unless it's like 3 poses and then y'all get gone, like, there you go.
Exactly.
Like, it's a group photo, like those old school photos where they have like 80 people lined up in front of one little lady granny.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So, but Kristine, she photographed Jordan and I. It was like the first couples photos that we ever had taken together, and Jordan is a little bit of a ham when he's in a good mood, and he was just kind of goofy, and we were interacting really well. Kristine was laughing, we were laughing, it was such a pleasant experience, and I had never met Kristine face to face prior to that shoot. And now we have some pretty photos in magnet form on our fridge, and I'm like, I love these pictures. And Kristine is actually going to be photographing mine and Jordan's wedding next year.
I'm so excited.
Yes, I am legit stoked because, again, like, she does good work, and she is such a nice person.
Looking back, do you think that either one of you really would have guessed that this would have been, like, your guys' relationship of knowing each other, you and Kristine? Like, you started off winning a free mini session, and now all of a sudden she's shooting your wedding, and...
I don't think I would have ever... I have a wild imagination, but when I first met her, never thought that she'd be that she'd end up photographing my wedding. But also, like, her work is worth a pretty penny.
Yeah,
you know, so it's also
she
like,
is
ooh, can I
very-
afford it? But like, yes, you know.
talented and definitely, and that's why I think it's actually like really such a luck thing for you too, is that, you know, she's been so helpful with giving you pointers and stuff here and there.
Yeah.
And been generous with her time.
And not only that, but like she also helped me figure out a hiccup with my Lightroom on my old computer.
Yeah.
She's like, check to see if you need to update your Lightroom, because Kristine works with Canon cameras and I work with Panasonic. And for some reason, because every now and again she would try and send me one of her raw files for me to edit as like an experiment, and I'm like, Lightroom won't open it. And she's like, I want to see something. Let's check and see if Lightroom needs to be updated. And it did. And as soon as I updated it, boom, the raw file that she sent me opened up. I'm like, problem frickin' solved.
There it is.
So she's like, okay, good. Now go edit the picture. I'm like, I'm already way ahead of you. So
You're like, yeah.
it's like, okay, all right, Senpai is giving me a task. I must do good. So, but no, Kristine is, she's great people, you know, and she approaches photography as like, if you genuinely want to grow as a person and a photographer, she will do what she can to offer you advice or coach you or pay for one of her mentorships, you know, like she's not going to steer you in the wrong direction. And she doesn't gatekeep, which is mwah, chef's kiss. Love it. So, but yeah, like this was the main goal for this episode, was to talk about Simply Wilson Acres. And I've been to Kristine's location. Like, I've been to Simply Wilson Acres before, but I had never photographed at it. So this was like my first experience with actually being on the property as a photographer and not just a friend. And even Nikki, you were like, ooh,
Yeah,
this
no.
is a nice setup, you know?
Instantly very welcoming, very nicely organized, you know.
Lots of homey touches.
Yep. And tell them about your other surprise you got today. About what you shot with.
Oh, yes.
How could I forget?
Well, I mean, that was in the back of my mind. So, again,
It was amazing. It was really cool.
It was. So, again, for context,
We're not sponsored by Kristine Wilson.
We're
Or
not.
her Simply Acres.
we're not. And I'm not sponsored by Panasonic. I am not sponsored by Canon. Holla
Or
at your
Lightroom.
girl, though. Or Lightroom. Or Adobe in general. These are just the tools that we use as photographers. And Kristine surprised me back during the early summer months, because one of my goals as a photographer is to be versatile with different brands of cameras. Like, again, I shoot Panasonic, but it'd be nice if I can pick up a Canon and be like, oh, I know how to operate this.
Right.
You know?
To a fair degree of accuracy and efficiency, yeah.
Exactly. So Kristine surprised me by saying, hey, do you want to shoot with my camera today? And I'm like, what? So she's like, it's already all set up. Because she asked me, she's like, did you bring your Canon with you? And I'm like, I did. She's like, shoot, I can't find the adapter for my lens to go to your Canon camera, so do you want to shoot with my camera? This is her livelihood, and she trusted her camera with me.
It was a beautiful machine.
It is a beefy machine. Like, I'm
Beautiful.
carrying it, I'm like,
Muscle mommy machine. There.
Yes.
That's what I'm gonna. Actually, I think if I, as soon as I get myself a really good camera, that's what I'm gonna name it.
muscle mommy machine. I call mine the
Muscle
panty
mommy, yeah.
Sanny. I call mine my panty Sanny.
Fanny Sanny.
My panty Sanny.
Yeah,
my
it's
Panasonic that brings me sanity.
It's like naming the wand, right? You gotta feel the vibe and see what it decides it's gonna be named.
Yeah, pretty much. And so getting back to the story that I was about to say before, I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, Kristine let me use her Canon today.
This happens a lot.
Yeah, we get sidetracked a lot, but that's okay. We always get back to
somewhat
always
back
get back
to
on
the
track.
somewhat back to the point. Yeah.
And I can't talk today. I've been very tongue-tied like all day, so I'm just like, bleh, what? Stuff and things.
I just noticed on Saturdays I talk more than I talk any other day of the week.
I appreciate that though, because sometimes like when I'm talking, I'm just like, I'm gonna run out of shit to say.
I don't think you can. I think that as soon as you come to the end of the like word bridge, something else will be like swinging down out of the sky. Just like connecting it across for you, which I'm fine with. I like listening, and I do put my little 2 cents here and there. And you know, usually when I say something, that's what I mean. So
Yeah. So, Kristine, she sells seashells by the seashore. I'm just gonna start practicing tongue twisters from now on. But Kristine surprised me in the earlier summer months before I started working my current job. She's like, "Hey, so you work with Panasonic?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Are you willing to work with a different brand?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Maybe." "Why?" And she goes, "Because I have a Canon M50 that I'm not using. Bless you. And if you are willing to experiment with it and work with it, I will give it to you." I'm like, "Wait, what?
You're like,
How much do you want for
right.
this?" And she's like, no, I'm not charging you for this. It is for you. I just hope that you use it. If you choose to not use it, give it back to me." And I'm
Right.
like, what?
Sold.
So went back in September when I was photographing my friends Cody and Sarah's wedding. Kristine was actually my second lead for that wedding,
That
and
was
she's
such
like,
a pretty wedding.
it was there. And Stag's Leap Farm, which was the venue that they got married at, I love that bed and breakfast, and the couple that own it are such sweet people.
You remember what we were talking about the clawfoot tub? I bet you they probably have one there, you'd think.
I don't think so, because
No?
it's been refurbished and whatnot.
Well, anyways, we'll have to go look them up because of that one shoot we were talking about, or event that we could organize by renting like a room in
Yes.
a B&B.
And I'm pretty sure, no guarantee, but like if I contact them, they might be cool with it.
Well, yeah, I know, and I remember you were telling me about the couple.
Yeah.
And how cool they were. Weren't they featured in some magazine or article or something? It was an article, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
About like the commerce and like the wedding venues and stuff. I think it was. I don't know. We'll have to look that up and next time highlight them and a little bit of a shout out, especially if we go back. We could probably even feature some of their work on. You still stream or anything?
Occasionally,
not too much.
live streaming has been kind of put on the back burner just because, like,
This is basically it.
Yeah, this is live streaming that I don't have to like, I can just sit down and we can record, and we don't have to worry about, like, whether or not there's people actually chatting or interacting with them, things like that. You know, people can tune in at their leisure.
Unless I have, like, a big, huge screen because I'm old and I can't see that well.
That is another thing that I need to do is, like, figure out, because I have that spare screen, but this laptop doesn't have as many routers is the wrong word. Plugs. Ports. Thank you. But
every once in a while.
No, yes. And getting back to the wedding for Cody and Sarah, Kristine was my second lead, so her and I were actually working together for this wedding. And Stag's Leap Farm is this adorable bed and breakfast in Oxford, Michigan, and that's where Cody and Sarah got married. And it is, again with the quaint and the cozy and the homey vibes. Like, Stag's Leap Farm is just, and the couple that owns it, such sweet people. They're so kind and so hospitable. You know, like, because for Cody and Sarah, I photographed their engagement pictures as well, because that was part of the wedding package that they purchased. And I got to meet both the owners of Stag's Leap Farm that day, and they're like, "Oh yeah, let us give you a tour. There's this and this and this and this and this and this and this." And I'm like, "I'm gonna shoot there, can I shoot there? Yeah, no problem. Have at it. I'm like, sweet. So
I really like the ones that you did in like the trail
yes.
with like the leaf arches and then
yes.
what was it? His hat?
Yep.
It was his hat that was in the foreground.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a really pretty picture.
We revisited it for the wedding. So like one of the engagement photos that I shot, Cody was wearing a cowboy hat, and I'm like, that cowboy hat is gonna go on the ground because I have a vision. So the cowboy hat is in the foreground, and Cody and Sarah are kissing in the background. Well, they loved that photo so much, and so did Stag's Leap Farm, that we revisited the concept for their wedding. And so, what?
I was going to say if they have you back for their anniversary photos, like, and shout out to you guys if you're listening. If you do anniversary photos, it'd be cool to recreate that again. That'd be cute.
I'm game if you are. And Cody and Sarah, I actually invited them to the wedding.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
So they'll be traveling from Colorado, but it's like, please come out. You guys are good people.
Right, and then one of these days we'll go out and see you. I always wanted to go out west.
And I don't know exactly where in Colorado they live, but like I want to go back to Colorado because Garden of the Gods.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Mesa
Explain.
Verde.
Huh?
And Mesa Verde, the Native American ruins.
Yeah.
So Garden of the Gods, for those of you who don't know, is this state park that is full of rock formations that through thousands and probably millions of years of erosion have turned into these different shapes. Like there's one rock formation that looks like two camels on their knees kissing. There is another one called Castle Rock that literally looks like a castle is built out of the mountain. And then they also have Balanced Rock, which is like it's a diamond-shaped rock, but it's balanced on its corner on a tilted, slanted rock. And it's like it's so pretty out there. So
yeah, we'll have to go back out. Well, I've never, other than when I went to Vegas, I've never really been out west. So
yeah, so we need to plan a trip. Where like when Jordan and I actually leave state again, you're actually coming with us.
Yeah.
And bring your camera.
Yeah. I mean, and even too, like, because the boys are getting older, you know, our kids are getting older. And so, like, do, like, a little family trip and take them to see the Grand Canyon or some,
That would be cool.
you know, cliche shit.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
So, but, no, anyway, Kristine had ended up gifting me the Canon M50. I know I'm leaving something out, but I think it's like a Canon EOS M50 or something like that. Don't quote me on that. It's a Canon M50. That's all I know. Detachable lens, shoots RAW, you know, so it's the only downside, and she warned me about it, is it's not dual slot. And one of the hiccups that I've encountered trying to be a wedding photographer or break into wedding photography, if you don't have a camera that shoots dual slot, may the odds be ever in your favor. And on top of that, my issue is twofold because I shoot Panasonic and I don't have a dual slot camera. So a lot of photographers go, you shoot in an unfamiliar brand and you don't have dual slot. No, we're not going to work with you. So it's like, okay, whatever. I'll just do my own thing.
Right. I mean,
So.
and honestly, most of the time, I generally prefer it that way anyways.
Yeah. I mean, I've
Like,
shot... Sorry, go ahead.
No,
What?
I'm just saying, like, left. It's my turn now.
I'm rubbing off on you.
I
Oh,
know,
shit.
right? I'm not used to speaking so much. No, but too many chef's spoons in the pot, you know?
Yeah. And now that I think about it, I still haven't, like, since I've started photographing weddings, I still haven't hit the 10 wedding mark, but I'm getting close. You know, because, like, I shot a wedding back in 2017 with my first Panasonic camera, and I'm
Yeah.
like, they really had a lot of faith in me. I'm like, I'm going to do my best, but I've never done this before. And they're like, that's fine, just
I
take
mean,
pictures. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
and you gave them a really good price, too. So, I mean, and for the longest time, you've been underselling yourself, so.
And for the time, because of my skill set and my camera and the fact that I had
Yeah.
no experience
Well, no, and
photographing
it
weddings.
was fair.
Yeah, I only charge them like $200.
Yeah.
So
I know. It was fair, and like I said, is you still did it, and you
they liked the
undercharge
pictures.
for your skills, especially nowadays.
I'm better about it though. I actually do charge more, or I charge closer to a more appropriate rate for my skill set.
Right, which is good.
Yeah.
That's something I like need to think about. Like I need to get off it and just start selling my art. I know. Shut up.
I'm looking
Stop.
at you like.
Stop fucking judging me.
I'm not judging
Excuse
you.
my language.
I'm not
My
judging
bad.
you. I'm trying to light the fire under your ass.
I don't want.
Tactfully and subtly as possible.
I was about to say, listen, I like my buns toasted, not burnt.
You're like a marshmallow, lightly toasted, not crispy.
No, I like my marshmallows totally crispy on the outside. And
I
ooey
love
gooey
like
on the
burning
inside.
them and
Yeah.
then just eating the shell and then burning it again and just I love the crunch.
I've never done. We're gonna have to try that.
I love the crunch.
We have to try those brie cheese charcuterie s'mores too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna have to like bust out my little tiny itty bitty grill sometime this winter.
Yes, I agree. Bring
And
it over here.
make us some bougie charcuterie stuff.
That would be awesome. That
That'd
would be really
delicious, especially if it's like 2 degrees outside.
fun. But I don't want to roast marshmallows outside.
I'm not roasting marshmallows. With brie cheese. I
Oh.
mean, but if we get the little mini bries, we can cook them and like bake them in the oven or even the air fryer. Honestly.
I didn't think about that actually.
And then serve it with like nice bread and raspberry preserves. I have raspberry preserves in my fridge too, by the way.
That sounds delicious. I want that.
Yeah. Oh, my coworker made apple butter too, and it's amazing.
I love apple butter. Honestly, that is like the only way I will willingly eat a banana if the banana is not in a smoothie.
Really?
I'm such a picky eater. It's not even
So
funny.
how do you eat it? Do you just like?
I
dip
will.
the
I
banana?
will. No. I'll chop the banana up into bite-sized pieces, and then I'll drizzle the apple butter over top of it, and then
Okay.
like eat a chunk of banana with apple butter on it. It's so good.
I'm gonna have to try that. Sounds delicious. I like apples and honey too. Yeah. Like just dipping my apples in honey. When I was pregnant with Ryland, I used to eat every day an apple. Like I'd slice up an apple, eat it with honey and chocolate syrup.
Mmm.
And then when I was pregnant with Brayden, I used to eat watermelon with chocolate syrup on it too. That was delicious.
That sounds good.
It was good. I have watermelon in my fridge. I think I'm probably going to eat that for a snack at like midnight tonight.
I don't know what I'm gonna be doing at midnight. Probably sleeping or doing laundry.
I was about to say you're going to try to go to sleep, but then you're so used to working nights that you're going to get up and, start woefully doing adulting stuff. What's up?
Sorry, Kristine actually messaged me. I'll have to respond to her message here shortly. But anyway, shit, I lost my train
She
of thought.
says, "Are you talking about me? Because my ears are just ringing."
We're pouring our hearts out about Kristine because she's such a nice person
She
and
is sweet.
talented.
She is sweet and she deserves nice things.
Yes, I'm like, I genuinely hope she gets everything she works for because, like, she's such a deserving person, and, like, she's dealt with drama, she's dealt with people talking smack about her, and she handles it in stride, but she's such a wholesome person that it's like, why would you talk shit about that? You know?
Because miserable people want to be miserable.
Yeah,
they want to
misery
make
loves
everybody
company.
else miserable too.
And it's not hard to be a decent person, but apparently it's just as easy to be a dick. But, like, I personally default to, no, I'm gonna try and be, like, a kind person. Not nice, because nice gets you take advantage of, but kind is, like, nice but with boundaries.
Right.
And
You're trying and you're doing well.
I am. I try my best. Like I said earlier, some days it's great, and other days I'm like, oops, what's a boundary? What's that? I don't know.
Right. Yeah, sure. You can totally inconvenience me at my expense.
But,
Be right there.
like I was saying earlier, one of my goals as a photographer is to be able to, like, bounce between different brands of cameras because the operating systems might be different. It's like being able to bounce between a Mac and a PC, you know, and I got the chance to use Kristine's beefy as fuck Canon camera today, and I'm like, this is a heavy piece of equipment. And I'm just thinking in the back of my head, this is your livelihood and you're trusting me with it. Thank you? Right. Like, not trying to make that sound awkward. It's like, thank you? Holy shit.
I guess that just goes to show, like, a little bit of her confidence in your ability and skill.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And that is something that I need to accept about myself is
recognize in yourself.
Yeah, I basically need to toot my own horn a little more often.
You need to get into what is that called?
Main character energy.
Oh yeah.
It's like, you can pick on me, you can insult me, don't insult my photography because I actually take pride in it and I think I'm actually a decent photographer. So
don't let people insult you all willy-nilly either.
And as the saying goes, don't take criticism from somebody you wait.
Yeah. Don't take advice from somebody you wouldn't take criticism from.
That's the phrase. So, yeah. And Kristine is definitely one of those people that I would definitely take advice from and constructive criticism, but she just doesn't strike me as someone who's going to do it to be mean. Right. She always has asked me, she's like, are you looking for a critique? I'd be like, please, when you have the time. And she's like, okay, I got you. You know, and I'm like, thank you. You know, she even helped me with getting some presets into my repertoire of tools. And I'm like, oh, I just unlocked some new skills. Holy shit. Yeah. So that was, thank you. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Love you.
Mwah.
So, but yeah, as far as fellow creatives go, like if you are a photographer and you're in Michigan, you know, Simply Wilson Acres is located in Davison, Michigan, and look her up, you know, like look up Simply Wilson Acres, book some time slots, and just, you're supporting a small business, you're supporting a fellow creative, and she is all about supporting other fellow creatives, you know. And with Nikki and I brought Adeline and Nikki brought her boys, and so we basically, I was the photographer, but I would swap out, like I would photograph Nikki and her kids for a few minutes, and then Adeline would step in, I'd photograph Adeline, and then we'd take turns, you know. And just the setup, everything was just, today couldn't have been any more perfect, you know. And just, yeah, so that was, this episode is not done yet, I promise. We're just, my main goal was to shout out Simply Wilson Acres and Kristine Wilson, and we have done that, so. But as far as, like, future plans for the podcast, there's still going to be a lot of bantering. Like, we have plans for episodes, but we don't have lists that we tack off and, okay, here's this talking point, let's talk about it.
Right, we don't have scripts or anything like that either. Like, I don't know. I like it to be organic and kind of random.
Just let it flow naturally.
Embrace the chaos.
Yes, embrace the chaos.
You don't have to control every aspect. Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
I'm kidding. I run a real loose ship. It's okay.
I'm going to put embrace the chaos on a t-shirt, too.
Right.
Because I say that, like, every fucking episode. Or it gets said every fucking episode. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean, I plan on having other photographers on here. I would love it if Sarah, our mural artist and bone connoisseur, I would love to have her on the way.
Shout out to Sarah.
Yes, thank you for all the bones. Thank you. And I would love to have Sarah on the podcast. I want Kayla on the podcast. I want other fellow creatives.
I want Kayla to be, like, a frequent guest.
Yes.
Like,
speaking of other plans for the podcast, speaking of Kayla.
What?
We have plans for future episodes of this podcast that have themes. So, for listener stories, we're going to call it Welcome to the Creep House. So, like, anybody who submits a story of, like, paranormal encounters or things like that, we're going to say, like, welcome to the Creep House. And then we're going to be discussing smut occasionally, and we're calling it the Smut Bucket. And ideally, we're going to have Kayla to, like, as a guest for those Smut Bucket episodes and discussing smut that she's read and things like that.
Disgusting. She says, "You're disgusting. Tell me more."
Yes. It's like, oh, that was gross. Say it again.
And that's the thing, though, is that, like, I don't really read smut, you know?
I don't either, but, like, I used to read, like, yaoi fan fiction of a bunch of anime that I used to watch back in the day. So I'm like, I'm not completely innocent of the smut or lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, like, I still like anime, but I'm not, like, as into it as I was when I was a teenager. But, like, I recognize that anime was kind of like one of my escapes from my home life back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, I have to catch Ronin Warriors or Gundam Wing or Sailor Moon or Dragon Ball Z. My homework's done. Everything sucks, but this anime is bringing me peace, you know? So, but, no, Kayla is, like, an avid reader of smut, or it's something that she's, like, interested in reading, and she reads it more often than we do. So I would love to, like, have Kayla on the show and be like, all right, what are you discussing, or what smut have you read this week?
Well, and it would be nice if, like, if there was one that she, like, would do a little virtual book club.
Yes.
Because then I guess that would get us into it and be able to, like, go back and forth about it, because, yeah. But I definitely want her to be the one that hosts that and have it kind of be like a pop-up little newscast thing.
Yes. And it's like, and now we're going to Kayla with the Smut Buckets. Whoop. You know, so, but, another thing, in the last episode we talked about our goals for 2026, and one of my goals was I want to read more, but whether it's ADHD or just my mental state or whatever, I rarely am able to sit down and read a book. However, when I am working my day job, for at least the first 2 hours of my shift, I am, for the most part, by myself, left to my own devices, embedding tissue. So I normally listen to podcasts. Well, I recently figured out that, because I have Spotify Premium, not sponsored, a lot of the books that I've been wanting to buy or read is an audiobook format on Spotify Premium. So I'm like, yes, add this one, add this one, add this one, add this one, add this one. And most of it's true crime, but some of it is fiction or dealing with, like, Egyptian mythology and things like that, because I love Egyptology.
Yeah, me too.
Like, learning about the pantheons of the gods and goddesses in Egyptian mythology, I'm like, I am a dry sponge and you are water, come here please.
I mean, I really wish a lot of things weren't very incesty, but
oh yeah, without a doubt.
Here it is.
Yeah, and I mean that's something that I have to contend with a little bit, because, like, when I figured out that, like, oh yeah, Osiris and Isis were married, but they were brother and sister, I'm like, ew, isn't that illegal?
No.
You know, back then it wasn't, but yeah. It just, it squigs me out a little bit, but it's like, this is how the Egyptians explained things in their world. You know, like, we have this deity, we have that deity,
I mean,
blah, blah, blah.
But if you think about it, too, Cain and Abel didn't have any other neighbor ladies.
Nope.
To procreate with.
Nope. It was basically Adam and Eve having to make more babies, and it's like, ew.
Motherfucker.
It's like, how did you propagate the plant? Oh.
We're
Ew.
all brothers and sisters.
Gross. But no, so yeah, one of my goals is to be better read in the coming year, and I am already taking steps. So what I was getting at is, like, on future podcast episodes, I kind of want to discuss, like, a book that I'm reading, you know, like where I'm at in the book, what's going on. I don't necessarily want to do like a book club every episode, but
Right.
like there are some books that I read last year that one of them made me go, "What the fuck? I want to read more." And the other book I read made me go, "What the fuck? This is disgusting."
Right. I don't want to ever see that anymore.
Like one book that I read it once. I don't know if I will read it again, let alone how soon will I.
Right.
You know, and no diss to Aaron Beauregard, the author, but Playground left me very uncomfortable. So, just because it's like Saw, but with kids, and I'm like this,
Yeah, on set.
you know,
Okay.
like. Ugh. So it's one of those things that like even the villain in the story, it's like I want this person to die.
Right, and usually you can be like, you know what, like maybe he may have overreacted, but like I can understand the crash out.
Yeah,
Like-
and what really like kind of it didn't bug me, but like it almost felt like the villain was like not so much cookie cutter, but you know most villains have like some tragic backstory that
Right.
turned them into a villain.
Right, and this guy's just a jerk.
The villain, it's a woman. It's
Oh.
it's an elderly woman who's filthy, stinking filthy rich, but like she doesn't have a tragic backstory. She's just snot rotten evil,
Well, I mean, she's, yeah.
you know. And it's like, ew, you know, like her motivation is she wants to create another version of her, you know. And it's like, no, you are a terrible human being. I'm glad this is fiction, because if I knew you in real life, I would not associate with you at all. You know. But like Playground was not a bad book, but like I'm reading it and I had to reread certain passages because I was like rereading it again just to make sure that I read what I thought I read. And I'm looking at it going like, wait a minute. We're just gonna put the book down for a couple minutes, you know. So, but another book that I read last year was The Education of a Coroner,
Yeah.
and that one I did not want to put down. That is another book. That is a book that I would definitely read again, or
Sorry, go ahead.
let somebody borrow or whatever.
What is that one book that I gave you last winter, early spring that was coroner or mortician related? I think it was like a...
What Remains or All That Remains?
Is
There
it?
might be another one that you gave me that I'm
Yeah,
drawing
no,
a blank
I-
on the title.
I think it was, yeah, well, I mean, I gave you a few books. I know, I have a lot of books I need to reread, too, yeah.
I actually tried looking up some of the books that you gave me on Spotify, and they're not on there. I'm like,
Well, yeah, because I gave them to you, and I'm the queen of obscure.
this is true, but they might be on Audible,
They may be.
which that's something I'm planning on
I'm not
getting.
paying for something I already have sitting on my shelf. I've got physical media till the day I die.
True, but for me, as someone who like my attention span is like non-existent when it comes to reading books, usually. Like 90% of the time, I am rereading the same page like 3 times before it finally sinks in that, okay, you read it, you can move on now. But,
Does it ever help if you try to read out loud to yourself or no? Because sometimes it does for me.
No,
If it's
not
like
really.
something that I have to like remember, I read it out loud as I write it down, and then I reread what I wrote and said down, and then I usually remember it for damn near forever.
that's how I learn. But when it comes to reading books, it's like, it's not that I'm trying to avoid it, it's just I really need to genuinely be hella fucking interested in the topic
Right.
for me to be like, leave me alone, I'm reading a book, you know?
Well, and you have to have no other thing.
Distractions.
Yeah.
you know.
Anything like claiming your attention or like a responsibility, which
Exactly.
we're adults, so I guess that's never gonna happen, is it?
And I've got way too many projects going on that like to take the time to actually
I
sit
know.
down and read a book. I'm like,
Girl, I
huh?
know.
So,
You know, and this is why I'm willing to help myself modernize, because I'm kind of in the same boat about like I have a lot of things to do to not be able to sit and devote my time to hyper focus and, you know, fall 3 worlds deep 400 pages later, you know.
right. So, but with audiobooks, it gives me the opportunity to multitask while also reading.
Right.
You know, and I mean, I love listening to podcasts while I'm embedding tissue in the morning, and like, I'm surprised my coworkers haven't been like, "What the hell are you listening to?" And it's like true crime, somebody got murdered.
I mean, but you guys are embedding tissue, so I'm guessing that you guys all have like that similarity, because a lot of people that work
In the
that,
medical field, they have a little twisted sense of humor.
yeah, and well, I wouldn't even think it's a twisted sense of humor, but like kind of a morbid curiosity and like a genuine need to understand and know things, you know.
Kind of. I don't know if any of my coworkers are really interested in like true crime podcasts, but it was actually funny
I bet
one
you
day.
they are. A lot of people listen to true crime podcasts.
It was funny the other day. I was listening to Morbid, the podcast, which I love that podcast. They were doing, it was like a 3-part series on the West Memphis 3 case, where these 2 boys were murdered, and this was during like the satanic panic of the 90s or whatever. And the cops, they flubbed the investigation and they zeroed in on a goth kid and his buddies.
They did.
You know, and eventually they were how do I put it?
You said exonerated.
They it's not necessarily that they were exonerated, like they pled guilty but also kept their innocence, so to speak. I don't know the whole logistics.
Why did they plead guilty?
They never found the
Or is
person
it a
who
no
actually
contest?
They didn't plead no contest. It's I forget the type of plea that they made. I forget the name of it, but it's basically they'll say, "Fine, we're guilty," but not actually confess because they're innocent, you know. But like, I'm listening to the podcast episodes and I'm like making hand motions and exasperated gestures at my phone. Like, and at one point I've got my headphone in and I'm looking at my phone going like, "What the fuck?" And one of my coworkers is like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm listening to a podcast." And she's like, "Okay," because I got a little concerned there for a second. I thought you like dropped tissue and I'd help you find it if you did. I'm like, "No, I'm listening to the West Memphis 3 case and it's pissing me off." You know, because like the cops, they're like, "You're a goth kid, you're guilty." That's literally what they did.
You're sacrificing things because you wear black.
Exactly. And
The only thing I'm sacrificing is my patience standing here listening to you, officer.
Exactly. You know, and like the cops, they sucked like throughout the entire investigation. And it just, if someone has no idea just how screwed up the judicial system can get, the West Memphis 3 will probably make you cry.
Right.
You know, and I'm just like, I'm listening to all the different hang-ups, the roadblocks, the no's, the refusals and everything, and I'm just like, do your job and do it correctly or step aside so somebody else can. You know, but that's not how it works, you know.
I was about to say, yeah, but they said that they had somebody that they could pin it on, and therefore the case is closed and they can move on to other things.
Well, that was also another part of the motivation for why they were so quick to try and close the case, because one of the cops was retiring. And he was like, "Let's go out with a bang." And it's like, you convicted, quote unquote, the wrong people.
Yeah, I mean, and wouldn't that really make you, like, rethink yourself and feel pretty guilty? Like, you would think.
You would think, but...
You would think that you ruined 3 people's life just to make your retirement pretty spicy and entertaining.
Yeah. So, I don't know how they feel or whatever, but, like, it was such a frustrating 3 episodes to listen to that, like... And I even looked at my coworker, I'm like, "I'm getting so pissed off right now. I don't think I've ever been this angry." And they're like, "Oh, okay, Tara. Moving on," you know. So I don't necessarily think they're all that interested in true crime, but they know I'm into it, you know. And truth be told, like, my coworkers, I get along with like all of them. You know, they're good people, and they've welcomed me with open arms. So it's like, I kind of think that I'm pretty weird, and they're like, "Yeah, it's just Tara. She does weird shit." You know, and I'm like, "Thank you for being so accepting of me."
I mean, not being weird is kind of strange, though, because that makes you extra fucking weird.
Just a little bit.
And
Yeah.
If you're like really normal and there ain't something a little bit strange about you, you're extremely strange and you're probably on a few lists.
Yeah. Yeah. Like BTK.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That was another thing, like, because Morbid does a lot of like true crime, but they also talk about the paranormal and whatnot. And when they covered BTK, he is so hung up on himself, you know, that like it's so infuriating, like how into himself he was. And he's like, he took like inspiration from like other serial killers. He never did his own thing. He was like trying to be a copycat killer in a way. And it's like, dude, stop. Just stop.
Put the Axe body spray down, Chad.
Right? So, but no, like, I don't necessarily want to discuss a bunch of serial killers on the podcast, but there are a few in history that I haven't heard covered on any true crime podcasts. There's one in particular, the giggling granny Nanny Doss.
Oh, yeah.
She loved to feed her husband's arsenic.
Yep.
And it's like, felt cute, might put some arsenic in your coffee later.
Right.
You know.
What do you mean it's burnt?
So.
There's no way I'd squirt your coffee, babe.
But, no, I do want to cover Nanny Doss because that was, like, I have a book on serial killers and, like, poisons and stuff like that. It's somewhere. I need to dig it up.
This kind of reflects to, like, both of our shared interest about, like, learning more about psychology and stuff, too.
Yes. And I've subscribed to a couple of, like, psychology podcasts and stuff like that. And I've actually started on audiobook The Body Keeps the Score, talking about psychology and PTSD and whatnot. And it's like,
good. Send me that link.
Yeah, I will. And it's really in depth and kind of eye-opening, honestly, because like the book is talking about how the psychiatrist is working with a bunch of soldiers who have PTSD, you know, but he also talks about, like, some of his other patients and stuff. Obviously doesn't name names or anything, but he's like, I have had conversations of people who were molested when they were kids, and, like, you don't have to go to war to live with PTSD.
Well, I mean, and it doesn't even have to be, like, an assault like that. It could have been, like, you know, you seen your dog get hit and completely obliterated.
Yeah, that's traumatic as fuck.
Yeah.
You know? So, it's just, we have a lot of plans for this podcast.
Right.
And we're going to cover a lot of topics, mostly art photography and the paranormal, with, like, dabblings of fashion. One or both of us might step on our political soapbox occasionally and make a comment or two and then step off the soapbox, but regardless.
Yeah, because that's not the main focus, but it's like an ever-present fact of life.
Yes. And I do want to cover certain crime stories and, you know, just creepy shit about history. You know, I've always been interested in, like, creepy and the macabre, like, even back when I was a little kid. Like, I used to joke with my grandfather because he took me to see Nightmare Before Christmas when it originally came out in theaters. And then here I am, I grew up to be a freaking spooky kid. And I'm like, it's your fault.
I think it was, like, canon for every spooky kid that grew up in that era.
Right.
That was, like...
I want a relationship like Jack and Sally. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you
Sally
don't.
was horrendous. She was not a good girlfriend. Don't be like Sally.
She was just lonely, and so was he. But she also kind of followed him around like a lost puppy.
Well, no, and then
codependency is a thing.
Well, yeah, and he was gonna go for a short visit to Christmas Land, and then she sabotaged him, so he ended up getting stuck there. And then everything got messed up for both lands because
of the fog. She added the fog because she had that premonition.
Yeah, and she ain't even his girl. She belongs to Sugar Daddy old Quackface.
Well, she was his creation. It's not that she was, like, his partner or anything.
Well, no, she wasn't his partner, but she was his specific kind of worker slave.
Yeah, like you cook and you clean and you make me soup.
Well, I mean, yeah.
So,
But the thing was, that wasn't her man.
right.
She still messed it up for everybody else because she wanted him to hang out and tell her she was a pretty girl.
But also, you know, when your holiday is Halloween and you try to do Christmas
Segway.
and you go around about it the wrong way, it's like, this is gonna backfire. You know, and Jack Skellington, his character, he's yearning for something more fulfilling because he's kind of old. He's kind of done with the repetitive, everything's ooky spooky. I need something to spice it up. And he comes across Christmas Land, and he's like, wait, what? There's other holidays? What? You know, so I get his whimsy. You know, like he wants to embrace this fine, shiny new thing.
Right.
He goes about it in the wrong way.
Right.
You know.
Well, I mean, in context, like for Halloween Land, Halloween Town, then that would have been fantastic gifts. Those would have been right on.
Right.
But for like sweet and bubbly Christmas Town, their culture,
no one wants a shrunken head for Christmas.
Who
I mean,
says?
I was just about to make the comment. I mean, I might though.
Right. It depends. What's the motivation behind this, and what was his name, so I can, you know, like, leave spirit plates for him and shit.
Right. That's why I'm like, I like bones.
Right.
Just give me bones. Bones are good.
Right.
Which is funny because, like, when I went back to school, one of the classes that I did particularly well in was forensic anthropology.
Mm-hmm.
I like bones. So, like, learning about the different names of the bones and how to identify, like, what side of the body the bone came from. And, like, it's just, again, I am the dry sponge, you're the water.
Yeah,
so,
no, if it's a subject I'm interested in and, like, it makes sense and it seems like, especially if it's considering job-wise, if it's practical to the job that I'm going to be doing, then I'm definitely very hyper-focused and attuned to it. Otherwise, I'm just like, ooh, lizard.
And it was funny because, like, one of my classmates in forensic anthropology, he's like, I got a C in the class. I'm like, how?
Yeah, no, that's...
He's like,
yeah.
I was bored. And I'm like...
Yeah, so why didn't you get an A?
Right!
Like, it was easy. You could have did that.
And he wanted to become a cop. And I'm like, kudos to you, but, like, how can you be bored in forensic anthropology? He's like, I just was. And I'm like, how can you be bored when you're learning about bones
I
and
mean, maybe
crime?
he's a kinetic learner, though.
But so
Like,
am I.
Being able to move around and stuff.
I learned, because, like, when I went back to school, I had to take an online course to, like, basically learn how online courses work at the school. And one of the things that they did in the online course is you had to take a test to figure out, like, what kind of learner are you? Are you visual, audio, or kinesthetic? And in a perfect setting, I am, like, kinesthetic 35%, visual is, like, 33%, and then the rest is audio. So I need to learn in all three forms all at once in order for me to, like, fully grasp something. But if I can't learn all three ways at once, then kinesthetic is, like, the way I go. And I've been able to showcase that at my job because, like, I told both my supervisor and my department manager, I'm like, I'm a very hands-on learner. I will learn better and faster if you just tell me what to do and I do it myself. And they're like, oh, okay.
I have to watch you for a second and then do it myself. But I can't, like, just be told how to do it. Or, like, no, I gotta see how it's done. I gotta, you know, like, especially, like, something with cooking or something like that. I gotta, like, if it's something I've never done before, I gotta look and watch how it's done. Like, you don't really even have to say anything to me. Just fucking do it. Let me watch it, and then I'm going to try it.
Right.
You know,
but no, even, like, we do immunohistochemistry stains at work. And this is where, like, we're probably testing for like a cancer marker or whatever on the tissue. Well, bless you.
Bless you.
Monday mornings, we start up the IHC machines. You have to load on the reagents. You have to wake them up and you have to wake up the machines and everything like that. And I was telling my supervisor when I left on Friday, I'm like, I think I can do it myself. Expect a text message from me though. And she's like, I'll just show up and not do anything and let you go as far as you can through the process. And if you need help, I'll be there. I'm like, sold. Thank you. You know, and that's another thing that I like really appreciate about my job is how helpful everybody is. You know, and like my first histotech job,
Yeah, no.
my second histotech job, if we didn't have issues with our paychecks not being able to be deposited on payday, I'd probably still be there.
Right.
You know, because that was where I actually was both a histotech and an autopsy technician.
Right, and you did like that job.
I
But
did.
It's the shadiness of, like, you know, I don't know. I don't want to say anything too harsh because I don't know, but it sounded like a misappropriation of fund and, like, embezzlement kind of stuff, and you don't want to be any kind of part of someone else's bad decisions like that.
No, and I don't think there was any embezzling, but like he got very greedy during the panini, and the work when I was hired on, the work that was there during the panini wasn't there when I got hired on.
Right.
You know, so it's like, yeah, you guys were busy 2 years ago,
Right.
but now you need to cool your britches just a little bit. Or
Right.
cool your jets.
Well, wasn't they having, like, kind of a weird, like, quota amount for that, too? For, like, you guys didn't have that much, but they were like, well, you gotta do this, 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 this. And it's like, I'll do this, 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 and this if my check clears on Friday like it's supposed to. But
Right.
Like, otherwise, you're only gonna get what's required out of me.
Right. And, like, even my supervisor at job number 2, you know, he's like, if your paycheck didn't deposit or if you couldn't cash it, like, I don't blame you if you don't want to do your job. And it's like, well, I'm going to do my job because patients are waiting for, you know, their test results and everything. But, like, this sucks, you know? And then I got offered a job at the dark place, which I never should have taken that job because, like,
I told you.
like,
When
you
are
did
gonna
tell
start
me.
listening to me.
you did tell me.
I
and,
usually
like,
know more than people think I do.
And I knew by, like, the ending of the first week that I had bitten off more than I could chew, and I stayed there for 4 months. And I remember even posting about it on Substack. I'm like, when your job causes you to have a health flare-up and you have to go on anxiety medication just so you can function somewhat normally.
They kind of acted like they didn't believe that you actually have lupus, you know, and it's like, why? Who would make up having lupus?
Right.
Like,
And there's just so many different issues that I had with the dark place that I'm like, I will never come back here. Like, good riddance, you know? And I won't name the jobs because for legal reasons, I don't want to get sued. But, no, my current job, like, it is such a drastic change from what I'm used to. And, like, even my supervisor has made comments like, wow, it seems like you worked with a bunch of bitches. I'm like, I did. You know? Or, like, there was one day where, like, my supervisor was going to every histotech station and, like, topping off our water baths. And I'm like, yeah, that would never happen at the dark place. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it was basically every man for themselves. Help you? Help anyone? Yeah, that's not happening. You know, and, like, whenever I had questions about, like, how to embed certain tissue, because, like, I'm not an expert. I have a good idea of how to do my job. I have a pretty damn good idea of how to do my job. But every now and again, we get tissue samples that I'm like, what do I do? How would I embed this? How should I embed this? I have questions. You know, so at my current job, if I have a question, they're like, oh, you're on the right track. Embed it the way you thought you were supposed to. Okay, thank you. At the dark place, if I'm like, hey, so-and-so, I need some added insight on how to embed this tissue. And they just kind of would be like, what's your issue? You know,
Or what do you want?
I was kind of, it wasn't outwardly noticeable, but I just felt like I was on the receiving end of, you're inconveniencing me, please stop.
Yeah.
You know, and at the dark place, it's like nobody was really, there wasn't any sense of camaraderie at that job.
I mean, do you really blame them, though? Because imagine what they went through and the amount of time that they were there versus, you know, like, what you only experienced within 4 months.
Right. And, like, it's not like I didn't know that the lab was high volume. It was, you know, and it still is. But I'm like, at first I'm like, okay, I think I can handle it. I've never worked at this high volume of a lab before, but like...
And you were honest about that from the jump.
Right. I still gave it the old college try and lasted 4 months, but like, some of the politics involved, I'm just like, yeah, this ain't, no, I quit. Here's my 2 weeks resignation. Like, here's my letter of resignation. Here's my 2 weeks notice. I'm out. You know, and... My supervisor at that job barely said a word to me after I turned in my 2 weeks notice. I'm like, you're mad. Mister, I'm so approachable.
You know, and that's the bad part, too, is why a lot of people would rather just quit instead of giving a 2 weeks notice, because, like, doing the right thing and the courteous thing and giving the 2 weeks and then working your 2 weeks faithfully, you still get fallout from that, you know, like, from a lot of places, which, you know, thankfully... the last place I had before I had switched to the job I'm in now, wood shop there, I put my 2 weeks in and it was great. I love that place still to this day.
Yeah, and their food's good too, so.
Excellent kitchen to work in, the least amount of drama ever. It was beautiful. But not a lot of places are like that, you know, you definitely, or if, like, you know, you raise any concerns or questions about things that are, like, seriously causing issues within your team or working company, then, like, a lot of people, especially if you don't have the personality traits that they, you know, want you to have, then they're definitely going to treat you different, and I think a lot of people would rather just walk away and try to find something else instead of being treated like garbage.
Yeah.
For however many ever days, because they think they can punish you for not being loyal to a company who would replace you before the ink dries on your obituary.
Right, exactly.
That they worked you into.
And I don't think I ever specified to my supervisor at the dark place that I went on anxiety meds, but I'm like, I have a health condition. And... this is not conducive to that health condition. And I tried my best to meet them halfway. At least I felt that I did my best to try and meet them halfway, and they never reciprocated. So it's like, I'm out.
Well, weren't they always still trying to schedule you for, like, when you had your specialist appointments and stuff? Weren't they trying to, like, get you to, like, work on those days and things? Or, like,
no, it was they just kept switching my schedule with, like, minimal notice.
With
and I'm
minimal
like,
notice, and that's really bad for your health. For anybody's health, honestly, but yeah. And,
like... with, like, it's not that I don't handle stress well. I feel like I do, you know, but...
But if your immune system doesn't handle it, it's your immune system. It's not a mental thing. It's an autoimmune system.
Right.
Thing.
And there were it's not that I missed a lot of work, but there were several times where I'm like, I can't make it into work. I feel like ass. And it's because I was so stressed out that, like, it caused me to have a flare-up with my lupus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and...
yeah, stress can definitely kill you.
Yeah, and I'm off my anxiety meds now. I have been, like, since June.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I got hired at my current job back in July. And by that point, I had stopped taking my anxiety meds for, like, a couple of weeks. And I'm like, I just don't like how they make me feel. There was one time in particular where I took my meds and fast forward about an hour into a live stream, out of the blue, I got really lightheaded and started feeling really nauseous. I'm like, guys, I'm sorry to cut this stream short, but I gotta go. I don't feel good. I ended up passing out for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
You know, and Also, like, it gave me restless leg syndrome.
I hate that.
Like, I would take my meds, and then, like, a half hour later, my legs just would not get comfortable. I'm like, yeah, no, this is not worth it. You know, like, I would rather be a clusterfucky ball of stress than take these anxiety meds, because they're not... It's like I was still having the racing thoughts of anxiety, but the medication just made me not give a shit
About anything.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I wanted to be numb, but not like that. You know, and just like they made me feel, the meds made me feel nauseous. They made me feel just really lightheaded and just so I'm like, I don't want to take these anymore, and I haven't been on them since. So I still have some left over because I haven't disposed of the medication, but I'm like, I don't want that.
Right.
You know, and I even told Jordan, like, when I turned in my 2-week notice with the dark place, I'm like, I feel relief.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad sign.
That's a very bad sign.
You know, it's like I should feel apprehension or nervousness about not having
Or at
another
least,
job
like,
lined up.
Well, yeah, I know, and that's the thing, is not having the job lined up. That's, like, not a good move.
No, but Jordan was very helpful and supportive during the time that I was unemployed. And then I got hired at the job I'm at now, and I'm like, woo, I like it here.
Right.
I actually don't hate myself at the end of every shift. Oh, I'm working until noon today because we have that much work to do? Okay. Whereas at the dark place, I'm like, shift's over with, bye, folks. I'm out.
Right.
You know, so I just, meh, whatever. But, no, like, I learned, like, even back in the day when I worked at a particular clothing store, which I'm not going to name because I don't know if I could get in trouble for, like, legal reasons for mentioning them, but I don't have anything bad to say about the place. I digress.
I'm surprised that place is still, like, running, though, honestly.
Some areas, it is still a very popular store. You know, but, no, like, I learned back when I worked at that clothing store, I'm like, if you're a shit manager, I learned it before I learned the phrase, you don't quit jobs, you quit management.
Yeah.
You know, and my first manager, her and I got along, everything was great, peachy keen, and then her and another manager switched stores, and the new manager, her and I, we never saw eye to eye. And, like, I'm like, I'm trying, again, it's one of those, like, I'm doing everything right, why are you being so mean?
Right.
You know, and it's like, oh, it's because we have nothing in common and you like to play favorites. So it's like, I quit.
You
Here's
know,
my today's
and
status.
that thing, too, that's something that should be disciplined when it arises within management. Like,
Yep.
I'm sorry, but if your overlords realize that you are treating your peasants like dirt because you just don't like the particular style and you're babying someone else, that should be handled by their overlords.
Yeah, but depending on who says what and evidence to the contrary, like, nothing happens.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
You know.
Especially if you have, like, that personality that, you know, people like, and you can kiss the right ass at the right moment.
And these lips were not made for kissing ass. Sorry.
Right.
You know, so, except for people like Kristine, because she's a good person.
I don't know if it's necessarily like kissing ass, though, if, like, you're genuinely praising and admiring somebody's work instead
Right.
of just telling them what's going to feed their ego so you can obtain what you want.
Right.
I think that's pretty gross.
No, it is. And I just, in the years of me dealing with, like, being a people pleaser and fawning in the presence of adversity, so to speak, it's like, that is a really hard habit to break. You know, and I didn't, like, I grew up with the, you either fight or you flight. And then there's, like, fawning and something else. And I
Right.
didn't learn about fawning until, like, only a few years ago. And I'm like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. You know, it's like, I'm not much of a fighter, but I also don't want to run away.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather, like, just kind of, I'm going to stand here and not move. And if it's in defiance, it's in defiance. But, like, stop being such a jerk.
Right.
You know, but,
yeah,
like,
I'd rather everybody just be chill.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
So.
I don't really want to fight people, but I'm definitely not going to allow myself to be mistreated continuously and remain quiet.
And when I was in my 20s, I definitely allowed myself to be mistreated.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think we all go through that.
We
you
do.
know, like
I think we do.
everybody really has moments to where they have to learn, their self-respect and boundaries and what they're going to allow.
Yeah. And in my case, I think it was just, maybe this next time it'll be different. Okay, maybe this new time it'll be different.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's gonna change this time. This time it's gonna be better. Yeah.
I can change them.
Yeah. No. If they're not wearing a diaper, no, the fuck you can't.
Bestie, he's gross.
Can't help it. I love possums.
Well, actual possums are cute. Foster possums, no, you go away.
I mean, but who's gonna feed them?
They're grown-ass men. They can feed themselves.
It says the girl that got cooked for tonight.
Jordan's an excellent cook, and he loves cooking, and he's a foodie. So it's
Right. And if you don't let him cook, he'll be out there criticizing how you're cooking because it's not exactly how he would cook it, and it makes you want to stab him with a fork, dull side.
Yep. Yeah, but I love him.
AKA, me and him don't cook together.
Right. Like, I'll be in the kitchen grabbing odds and ends things that he needs, but, like, as far as me doing the actual cooking, it's like, no. I can make you scrambled eggs or a simple chili.
I was about to say, if you can't make eggs, there's an issue.
That's, like, the one, like, Jordan will be like, will you make me scrambled eggs? And I'm like, sure.
Sure.
And, like, sometimes I just really don't want to do it, but I do it anyway, because I know he appreciates it, and it's like, I'm not much of a cook, but I can scramble you some eggs, so it's just, whatever, It's like, I'm not much, like, sometimes I don't think I'm that great of a person, but I am a decent photographer, I can't cook for shit, but I can make you some scrambled eggs, So, but yeah, we are at almost an hour and a half of us rambling, so surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
So we've got some t-shirt ideas, which I'm going to work on Canva, like, immediately.
It was your ring, hold on.
Oh, yeah? Witchy couples rings. Ooh, almost.
Almost. It was really close to it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Anyhow, sorry.
No, we're good. You're good. So, like I said, our main topic was supposed to be discussing Simply Wilson Acres, which, again, if you are a photographer in the state of Michigan, make the trip, book the slots, and go to Simply Wilson Acres and get your photo shoot on. Like, love the layout, love the owner, just support a local business, support a local creative who also supports other creatives.
Right.
This is a setting that is made for photographers by another photographer. So, like, do the thing. And, just discussing, some future plans and concepts for the podcast and things like that. And, yeah, so that is, I think we're going to call it there.
Yeah.
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 We'll be better prepared next time, we promise.
I mean,
maybe.
we had a busy day, though.
We did.
And we weren't even going to record tonight, so you guys are welcome.
Yeah.
We love you, so we made another one for you.
This is a nice new outlet that we're enjoying, so we're going to ride the wave as much as possible.
routine. It's a good Saturday night routine.
Me too. We get to be creative, and then we get to sit down and just
hang out and fucking chitter
word vomit and things.
and have good treats to eat.
Yes.
Maybe next time Jordan will be home from work again and we can make him cook for us again. We could get him to do the little brie charcuterie toasted things. Yes. He could bring us food.
Hey, honey.
Bring us food.
So anyway, thank you for tuning in. And again, we are No Thoughts, Just Frosting. We are Tara and
Nikki.
And if you happen to partake in social media, we are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at No Thoughts, Just Frosting.
Oh, and you know what? Be quick before we wind up here. I have stuck to my goal of doing some kind of art every single day and posting on my tickety tack. I've had two little photo videos. What do you call them?
TikToks.
Are they just TikToks?
Yeah. That's what
fucking disappointing. Anyways, so I have 2 TikToks I just posted over the last 2 days. I have one more due for tonight, but I have been doing good on keeping with my goals of things. So go
yes,
me.
she's been sticking to her staying creative everyday thing, and
Other than I haven't done my camera thing yet.
yeah, shame.
But I've been using my phone and taking photos and editing.
You have
them
been,
on
and
my
that's a
phone.
start. It's like I said, it's a start. So, and then with me, I started with the audiobook thing, and yeah, good things. So, but yeah, also, if you have any questions, comments, complaints, or spooky stories that you've experienced, we are also, send us an email at nothoughtsjustfrosting@gmail.com. So, interact with us. We want to interact with you. And if you stopped by and listened, we appreciate you. So, we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.